Hi guys, and welcome back. I'm Rachel O'Leary, and today we're out in my yard because I want to talk to you about some affordable solutions should you want to try summer tubbing. Now, if you've been following my channel for a while, I am entering into my 4th season on YouTube of doing summer tubbing in a pretty big way. I have 12 Laguna bins, a 300-gallon Rubbermaid, and lots of 70, 100, and 40-gallon bins around my yard. But I realized this isn't exactly what everyone would want to do. So I wanted to take the time to show you guys a few different affordable solutions and choices should you want to try a singular tub on your own. Now, 2 of the solutions are going to be under $50 in total, and 1 is going to be slightly more, but all 3 will be under $100, all said and done from start to finish. And I thought that was pretty exciting. So I wanted to show you first, in this first installment, some of the tub choices. That way, if you want to do this along with me, you have time to get to the store and potentially pick up a tub. Now, I'd also like to mention that Craigslist or Kijiji are really great resources for picking up used stock tubs, at least if you live in an area like I do where it's really rural. The vast majority of my big Rubbermaids I've gotten online for super cheap because they're used. There's also a lot of different planters and things that could potentially be used as a tub. However, I tend to steer clear of things with a glaze just because some of the glazes are not necessarily invertebrate safe. And I don't know enough about it to know which ones are which, so I tend to go with rubber tubs. So let's take a look at the 3 that I've picked up to build with you guys and talk a little bit about them. Now, I decided to start this adventure at a pretty common box store. We went to Lowe's in order to get lumber for the patio, and I figured I would take this opportunity to see what they have for bins that you guys could possibly be able to find where you live as well. And I was not disappointed. Let's take a look. So at Lowe's, I was not at all disappointed, as I mentioned. They had a bunch of these different resin whiskey barrels. They also had wood whiskey barrels. They had giant planters. But for me, my favorite has always been these small resin whiskey barrels. They've held up really well to the heat in the summer as well as the cold in the winter. I've used them for bog gardens. I've used them to breed fish. But it is important to consider with these that because the volume's pretty small, I haven't actually done the math to know how small. I think it's somewhere between 15 and 20 gallons, that they are going to be more susceptible to swings in temperature. So it'll be important to choose a spot carefully for these in order to ensure the safety of our fish and to not have our plants get too much sun. Full sun is generally considered 6 hours a day. With a bin this small, I would probably do more like 3 or 4. However, for $12, you really can't beat that, and they are a great space-saving solution. Now, our next stop was Tractor Supply. Now, where I live, this store is super common because it's a pretty agricultural area, but I wasn't sure how broad spread their locations were, but I do know they offer shipping as well. And this is really my go-to place for purchasing tubs. They sell the big Rubbermaid stock tubs, but more importantly, they had this one on sale for only about $40. And this is a 40-gallon tub, and it's got a really wonderful footprint because there's a lot of surface area, which makes it especially good for breeding fish, and it's not too deep, so it'll make it easy to grow marginal plants. Now, I don't think this tub would be deep enough to grow lilies. However, it, is super affordable. They even have smaller sizes if you would want to try a smaller size. But for me, bigger is always better. So with the budget that I set of a max of $100, the 40-gallon, $42.99 solution was really the best one. I also decided while I was there to pick up a muck bucket. Now, I'm a horse girl, so I grew up having these all over our farm. And the reason I tend to use stuff like this is that all of these things are intended for livestock use, which means they're safe. These are used as waterers as well as for cleaning stalls and stuff. And this is 17.5 gallons. And at its super cheap price, I think it's a really interesting alternative to some of the other tubs. And because it has a little more depth, I think it'll work for a singular lily. Now, we'll have to wait and see what I end up planting in it. But I just want to show you guys these 3 different solutions for really affordable tubs. Now, if money is not your issue, my favorite really is these Rubbermaid tubs. The bigger volume, they're super sturdy, and the larger volumes are actually I have a bulkhead fitting, which makes plumbing a real breeze. I have the 70-gallon, 100-gallon, 50-gallon, and the 300-gallon of these. But as you can see, they're a bit pricier, so I didn't choose them for this video. Plus, I have 4 years of videos showing you guys how these things work. But I did want to bring them up just because if, again, budget is not that important to you, I do find that these are a bit superior. Though I'm really excited to try that 40-gallon Tough Stuff tub. As always, thank you guys for your continued support. I hope you're as excited about this new adventure as I am, and I really hope that some of you will give this summer tubbing thing or a patio pond a try. Even if you can only have a small tub, just the beauty of the plants that you can grow and the enrichment of the sound and just seeing it is so much fun. I really think you'll enjoy it. Make sure you're subscribed with that notification bell on so you don't miss any of my videos. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Can always use some help with the YouTube algorithm. Just a reminder as well, I am going to be speaking at Reef to Rift store in Hadfield, PA this Saturday, I believe, at 1 p.m. I will have more info on my business Facebook page as well as in the comments section down below.